Okay, here's to it. Let's do it. Time to learn about thesis writing and how to focus the ideas of your essay. So, what is the point of the thesis? What should it do? Your thesis statement presents and organizes all the major ideas in your essay. These ideas should come from your topic sentences. The structure of your thesis should reflect the organization of your essay. In other words, the idea from your first topic sentence should come first in your thesis, the second topic sentence should be summarized second, and so on. Your thesis should sound important or controversial. A well-written thesis statement has a certain ring to it that will make it sound important. Your thesis should be a complex sentence with many phrases. There may be several parts to your thesis, but it should be only one sentence. The central skill in writing a strong thesis is in summarizing your topic sentences into short phrases. Each of your topic sentences has a central argument that should be summarized in your thesis. You'll want to find the main idea in your topic sentence and try to communicate the same idea in as few words as possible. The arguments in your topic sentences should be elaborate and thorough. In your topic sentence, you have space to elaborate on an idea and explain clearly why it matters. You can explain the ins and outs of an argument, but your thesis needs to get through several arguments in one sentence, while topic sentences only need to describe one, so you must condense your arguments as much as possible. The arguments in your thesis statements should be concise and pithy. In other words, you'll need to come up with a short phrase that says a lot. So let's see this in action. We'll use the thesis statement in the example from the introduction and conclusion lesson. Then we'll look at how to get from the topic sentences to the thesis. In an example essay that examines the significant traits of Atticus Finch, a reasonable thesis might be, the actions of Atticus Finch teach us that humility will create influence over people who would otherwise be uninterested. Intelligence inspires respect from a community, but idealism can cloud a person's judgment. So, let's see how to get to that thesis. We'll have to backtrack through the topic sentences. The first topic sentence of the essay might look something like this. When a humble person like Atticus can keep his or her pride from offending other people, they are more likely to listen and be influenced by that person's thoughts because those listening are less likely to be bothered by the speaker's arrogance. So how can we summarize that long and complex argument? Well, the end result might look something like this. Humility will create influence over people who would otherwise be uninterested. Let's take a look and see how we got from that long sentence to this short phrase. The phrase, a humble person like Atticus, and the explanation that he can, quote, keep his or her pride from offending other people, can be shortened to humility. The topic sentence goes into more detail and explains how this sort of trait might be seen in the real world, but the central argument looks at how humility can affect people, so humility is all you need to mention in your thesis. The topic sentence goes on to explain that people are, quote, more likely to listen and be influenced by that person's thoughts. The topic sentence on the previous slide goes into even more detail about how humility can benefit a person's life, but for the thesis we only need to have the bottom line. So the explanation that humility can, quote, create influence over other people who would otherwise be uninterested tells the reader exactly what they need to know. Here we go with topic sentence number 2 from the same thesis. Atticus's intelligence proves that the ability to consider a problem from several perspectives or analyze a dilemma from a sophisticated point of view causes a community to rely on their most intelligent members for problem solving, and that person earns respect of the people around him or her as a result. The topic sentence can be summarized into this. Intelligence inspires respect from a community. Here's another look at the process of shortening elaborate arguments into more dense phrases. The phrase describing Atticus's intelligence goes into great detail, explaining that Atticus's intelligence proves that the ability to consider a problem from several perspectives or analyze a dilemma from a sophisticated point of view, etc. While this gives the reader a much clearer idea of what is meant by intelligence, intelligence itself is the root of the argument, so that word will work by itself. Later, we have the phrase that suggests that intelligence, quote, causes a community to rely on their most intelligent members for problem solving, and that person earns the respect of people around him or her as a result. This phrase goes into detail about how intelligence results in greater respect from the community, but in a thesis, you should be sticking to the basic ideas, so all you have to say is that intelligence inspires respect from the community. Topic sentence number 3 is the one that is critical of Atticus. It suggests that Atticus's absolute devotion to the ideal of justice prevents him from seeing the people around him on a human level, because upholding justice becomes more important to him than maintaining healthy relationships with his friends and family. To break down this to a short phrase, we might end up with something like this. Idealism can cloud a person's judgment. In this case, the description that Atticus's absolute devotion to the ideal of justice can be shortened simply to idealism, because your thesis should focus on the root cause, and while justice may be Atticus's main ideal, the same idea could apply to anyone who is just as obsessed with any ideal. The original topic sentence continues, quote, prevents him from seeing people around him on a human level because upholding justice becomes more important to him than maintaining healthy family relationships with his friends and family. Or something like that. This could be shortened using the same method of focusing on the most basic and important ideas, ending up with something like, can cloud a person's judgment. This may feel like it's too generalized, but remember that your thesis is a guide to your essay as a whole. So as long as your reader knows what to expect in your topic sentences, your thesis has accomplished its job. Here are some things to keep in mind when writing your thesis. If summarizing topic sentences doesn't seem to shorten them much, topic sentences may need to be elaborated more. Your topic sentence should be complex and elaborate, but if it's too simple, you won't have much left to summarize. In this case, the best option would be to revise your topic sentence to make sure you're making a strong, sophisticated argument. Try to keep the arguments in your thesis to a subject-verb-object pattern as much as possible. This will help you make sure that you have a clear cause and effect relationship described in the arguments of your thesis. If you use this trick, you'll avoid wandering around too much or missing the point of your topic sentences. The thesis arguments should be in the same order as your paragraphs. Because your thesis is a summary of the major ideas of your essay, the rest of your essay will be easier to follow if the phrases in your thesis follow the same order as your topic sentences. So the important stuff to remember is, the thesis is like a summary of the important ideas in your essay. All the arguments in your topic sentences should be summarized in the thesis statement. Your thesis should be only one sentence, but it should have several phrases and clauses. That's it for now. Remember to write down any thoughts or questions you might have on your worksheet, and email me if you need anything cleared up. Check the link below for a document with the example thesis and topic sentences, with some notes on how they relate. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in class. This is Mr. Weir, signing off.